Welcome to the second webinar in the series of MR Safety Call for Action, the webinar series that we have started this year in 2025 under the able leadership of our President of Asian Oceanian Society of Radiology, Dr. Chamaree, and the AsiaSafe Chair, Emeritus Professor Dr. Kuan Hoon Ng. So we had our last webinar on April 29, giving an overview of the MR safety call for action, bridging the gaps, and also Dr. Elaine Khan giving her perspective from the Hong Kong Children's Hospital. Today, we will be dealing with the first and second points of the call for action, the publication that we had, the AsiaSafe and the MR safety ambassadors together published an article in the Japanese Journal of Radiology and the MR safety call for action in January 2025. So the call for action ultimately should drive action, and action at individual level, action at the institution level, action at the national societies of radiology level, and also the country level. So this is what we are looking at. And each and every call for action point gives us an opportunity to explore in the context of that particular individual, that particular institution, and also that particular country in the Asian Oceanian region. Asia-Oceanian region, which has a population of 45% of the world population, has 45% MR installations all across the world. So that's a huge number, and that number is still increasing. And the statistics, the projections show that by 2032, this will be a 12 billion market. And that is the importance of the MR safety series, because as the number of installation increases, we need to upscale. We need to upscale our activities on MR safety so that MR accidents should not happen. So how can we do that? And each and every point will be looking into the details of that. To give the opening remarks for this webinar series, today's webinar, I have with us the Chair of AsiaSafe, Emeritus Professor Dr. Kuan Hoon Ng. Let us move and hear what Dr. Ng has to say. Shweta.
Good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to another AsiaSafe AOSR webinar on MRI Safety Call for Action series. My name is Professor Ng, the chair of the AsiaSafe. Welcome to all once again. In the January of 2025, AsiaSafe published a paper on MRI safety call for action. We listed 10 points for action toward safer practice of MRI. And today is the second in this series. The title is Implementing Change Through Education and Expertise. We have two eminent speakers with us, Dr. Manoj K from India and Dr. Chamaree from Thailand, who is also the president of the AOSR. And my moderator, Dr. Rijo Matthew from India, who is one of the AsiaSafe members actively promoting safety in MRI. I'll pass on this session to Dr. Rijo.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Kuan Hoon Ng, the chair of AsiaSafe, for the opening remarks. I'm Dr. Rijo Matthew, the MR Safety Ambassador and an AsiaSafer. And together, the AsiaSafers in AOSR has been promoting MR safety for the last 4 years. Before we move on to the scientific session, I've got a few instructions. We would like the attendees to put their questions in the chat box, and we'll be answering them at the end of the sessions. And Also, the the QR code QR code will be demonstrated at the end of the participation. QR code will be demonstrated at the end of the session, which will make you eligible for the certificate. So please do save the QR code and share your feedbacks with us, which will help us to improve our webinar series. So let me move on to the first speaker of the day. Can you put the slides of Dr. Manoj K. Dr. Manoj K. is a good friend of mine from India. He is a consultant in the Department of Imaging Sciences and Interventional Radiology, MRI and Transplant Imaging in KIMS Health, Trivandrum, Kerala, and also in the Pioneer Metro Scans, Trivandrum. So he currently works with 3 Tesla and 1.5 Tesla MRIs and a variety of ultrasound equipment. His research is in fat quantification using MRI PDFF and MR spectroscopy PDFF techniques has been awarded the best research paper in ISGAR 2019. Manoj also qualifies as a very ardent supporter and one who one who is a great proponent of MR safety in this part of the country, this part of the world. Manoj himself has authored several books on MR safety in the Indian context and the ground realities. And Manoj has always been passionate in promoting MR safety and always been there in the pool of radiologists who are always there to sort out or answer the queries related to MR safety. With that introduction, may I invite Dr. Manoj K. to talk on the first call for action point to increase the educational initiatives. As you all know, training, it is very, very essential. The responsible leader in the MR safety milieu is the MR safety officer and MR medical director who has been adequately trained in MR safety. They are the leaders. And that is why we are given this as the first point call for action, that we need to have training and make them more responsible and to lead the MR safety initiatives and their institution level. And that is why this call for action point is very relevant. With that introduction, may I invite Dr. Manoj K. to start his academic session. Over to you, Manoj.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Matthew. Thanks, AOSR Chairperson, Dr. Chamaree, and other officers for inviting me for this session. I'll be presenting the topic on the first point of increasing educational opportunities. Can I share?
Please share your screen. Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for having me here. So the first point is our topic is increasing the educational initiatives. So it's a call for action regarding MR safety. So we have AOSR putting forth these points, and I'm just elaborating on these points today. So the first point that is being put forward is that we have to have phased modular learning resources. So the phase one is we have to create some foundational materials like short video modules, and we can create protocols and interactive simulations, and in phase three we can have case-based scenarios. So this is a very nice way of putting forth how we can go about creating educational resources. So the first point is we can have foundational educational videos, like how AOSR itself has produced this video, what clinical staff need to know about MR examination. This will help the professionals to get an understanding about the necessary points that is needed to bring about base understanding about the MR safety. So these are the sample videos. So second, we have to create protocols, like interactive protocols can be created, like simulations, which will help the participants understand what is safe and what is not safe. So we can give the learners scenarios like how to identify the objects that are unsafe in a virtual MR suite. So these are some of the initiatives that can be done. A virtual MR suite can be created as a learning resource, and this will help the participants to identify what is a safe MR environment. So we can actually make the learners walk through a virtual MR suite where various ferromagnetic objects, etc., are placed, and they will identify these objects, and they can be made to actively select or flagging unsafe users, the unsafe items in the environment. So this is like a virtual simulation I have put here. So we can have this kind of the virtual walkthrough for the participants, and they will identify these objects, and they can, that will help them to have the base knowledge about what is safe and what is not safe in an MR environment. So in a next advanced phase, we can give case-based scenarios, like how to manage certain instances. For example, a patient with a cardiac pacemaker, what has to be done in such a scenario? Pacemaker that is labeled MR conditional. So we have to have the participant do this device verification, coordinate with the cardiology for device reprogramming or monitor ECG. All this has to be done in a safe MR environment. These can be virtually trained for the participants. Or pediatric emergency sedation. So this what will happen when a child undergoes some desaturation, how that particular situation has to be handled, and what are the emergency steps that has to be taken. This can be also instructed to the patient participants. So this becomes a very comprehensive way of training the MR professionals, MR technologists, and residents in the MR environment. As we know, ASMRM has initiated these phased modular learning approaches, like level 1, level 2. In level 1, MR safety for all safe staff, like basic foundational level, and MR safety for technologists, radiographers, and MR operators, like the advanced level. So these modular initiatives already has started with ISMRM, and they have also provided home study educational seminars. There's a ISMRM MR safety page is there. A lot of materials are available in ISMRM, and there are safety modules they are proposed for the medical students, like covering topics like magnetic fields, MRs, sounds, projectiles, thermal effects, peripheral nerve stimulation, acoustic noise, screening procedures, contrast media, claustrophobia, sedation, anesthesia. So these kind of virtual environment we can create. ASMRM is now coming up with MR safety. There's a webinar initiative. So that is one of the premier these enablers, and ASMRM is doing. I think all the other major regional national organizations can follow the same path. So what we can do on one hand is create the hands-on applications and digital libraries. Already some safety manual, these educational stock materials are available in SMRM, and also ASR itself has started these video projects. So these are the next level initiatives that can be taken, like how to create emergency scenarios and on-demand protocols, incident reports. All these things can be created. Then the structured education pathways. We have to create educational pathways, structured education pathways, certifications for the MR safety officers, annual microlearning modules, upskilling, these training programs. So we, as organization, the top level organizations can create a top level instructors, trainers, and experts in the field who will be initiating this training certifications, and this will go down a very long way in creating a second level of experts, educationers, and trainers. So just putting on what are the principles, what are the general points that we need to address in a MR safety perspective. So first is definitely the MR environment, design and control. Like any facility should adhere to safe MR design. A safe MR environment has been created by the responsible authorities, and this has been overlooked by the our national and other organizations. Of course, from a government viewpoint, designated authorities has been there. Second is the personal and patient screening. The screening purpose, the how effectively that can be done, and all these MR technologists and all the staff in an MR facility should be well aware, well versed with the screening procedures, how to conduct a MR screening. And second will be the contrast media safety. So contrast media safety is also very important in an MR environment. Every staff, every person in the MR facility should be aware about MR contrast media safety, and especially the radiologists and the technologists should be very much aware about that. And special patient populations for which MR safety adaptations has to be done, like pediatrics, pregnant, patients from critical care units. Everybody should be having special training in handling such patient population. And then we have got to do many MR-guided interventions. So here also safety and specialized consideration should be the main guiding. We have to have all the personnel in the MR room well versed with this. So various educational materials can be based on these broad areas. So we can create safety videos, posters, wall messaging in high traffic areas, social media messaging, MR safety chatbots. So these are all the initiatives that can be started to propagate the ideas regarding MR safety, how to do it, and also to disseminate comprehensive educational material about MR procedures, safety guidelines, contrast media. So this is the basic ideas that we are discussing today. So I divide these educational institutes into training programs for professionals and health education for the general public. So who should get training, structured training? So radiologists and radiology students, MR staff and trainees, other radiology staff and trainees, other hospital staff and trainees. So this can be made as a modular units from a very different levels of training, levels of understanding that can be imparted to these groups of professionals involved in MR facilities. And when we look into the general population, or people who are not directly involved in the MR facility, like medical nursing students, general hospital staff, trainees, other hospital attendants, general public, We can create educational material for the public also, which will go a long way in creating a safe MR environment. So we can have brochures, posters, informational videos, like MR safety instruction videos, these YouTube channels, and MR safety walls in hospitals, which will give a public the essential information regarding what is happening in MR and why it is different, why the magnet is always on, or all these points can be included in such a the MR safety walls. Of course, we have websites, we can have applications, we can have chatbots. AI has given us the ability to create chatbots. So these are some of the initiatives that we have already started, and these initiatives and these applications or the various methods to reach out to the various groups, as I mentioned, various groups of population that we have to reach out regarding MR safety can be effectively reached out using various these methods. And now the point about the trainee-trainer database and mentorship. So a platform can be initiated by national associations to provide certifications in MR safety, can gather feedback, and can address the skill gaps. So newcomers can be paired with experts that will create a mentorship program. So as we know, we have to move forward with creating a pool of experts from top down to the local level. So this is something also that will give a very good way to how to create such a pool of trained, qualified personnels who will enable a safe MR environment across our Asia Pacific region. So we can have centralized records of who is qualified to train and who needs training, facilitate pairs of trainers with the trainees, and enable ongoing performance tracking, feedback training, and support continuous quality improvement in the MR safety program. So this will be also having a very good effect or very effective this overall empowerment of the entire people who are involved in this MR safety. Like trainers can have a trainer ID, they can have the assignment ID, sessions can be created, and this is just suggestions for how to create a particular trainer-trainee modules. And finally, we can develop clinical and administrative protocols to ensure comprehensive MR safety. So we can create clinical protocols like patient screening and consent protocols, implant and device management protocols, contrast administration protocols, patient monitoring and communication protocols, emergency procedures, and in administrative side, zoning and access control, policy and procedure documentation, staff training and competency, equipment maintenance and calibration, quality assurance, and incidence management. So this is will be a very comprehensive way of dealing with this administrative and clinical efficiency program initiations. So the clinical protocols, as we know, we already have these protocols initiated by ISMRM, IACR, AOSR. Everybody has initiated such protocols for patient screening and consent, and it has to be ensured that such protocols are implemented in practice in every MR facility. So pre-appointment questionnaires to ask about implants, metal implants, history of metal fragments, pregnancy, and personal verification. All these things comes under the patient screening. And implant and device management is very important. And here we can include many things for the MR safety, MR conditions, like that gradations can be done. So this has to be an exercise that has to be taught to the people who are the professionals in the MR safety arena or in the MR facilities. And in contrast media administration, also we have to adhere to the protocols. We have to have very good this procedural management, renal function assessment, verifying the EGFR, allergy screening, emergency preparedness, crash cards, staff trained in recognition and management of anaphylaxis. So this will be so this is an application. We have actually created a sort of application. These several applications can be also created for MR safety, which will enable a safe environment in a particular institution. So this is what the applications can be created. And patient monitoring and communication, continuous visual and audio contact, two-way intercom system, panic balls, ECG oximetry, sedation protocols, and that all these various aspects of safety for the patient, especially when we think about those special populations like critical care patients and pediatric patients and patients under anesthesia. All these needs very good adequate education training for all the staff concerned. And in emergency procedures, CONCH procedure, and in patient resuscitation, MR safe resuscitation equipment has to be there. Roles and responsibilities for zone 4 emergencies, incident reporting protocols, reporting any adverse events, mishaps, equipment malfunctions, and these protocols can be implemented. And in administrative side, like people who are involved in hospital managements, who are involved in creating facilities, MR facilities, they have to be also given adequate information about the protocols, and they have to be aware about that, like zoning and access control, the zone 214 demarcation with clear signage and color coding, authorization of personnel listing, barge controlled access, key lock systems, and MR safety screening devices. All these things, the administrative side, the administration has to be aware about. Policy and procedure documentation, MR safety manuals, roles and responsibilities, MR medical director, MR safety officer, technologists, standard operating procedures for routine and emergency workflows, and periodic review, annual policy updates and auditing to incorporate new guidelines and technology. And this also comes under the purview of managements. So the people who are involved in managing the facilities, they should be aware. They should be made aware by the by our professional organization regarding the need for doing that. And when staff is concerned, staff training, competency has to be checked. The initial onboarding, MR safety fundamentals has to be imparted, and implant safety, zoning, hands-on drills for patient screening, continuing education, refresher course, case reviews, and competency assessments can be done. And the equipment maintenance calibration also very important from the management point of view. Scheduled preventive maintenance by vendors, daily safety checks, visual inspection for stray magnets, from magnetic objects, verification of punch pipe, log books for all checks, service visits. This has to be from the management side. And quality insurance and incident management, regular safety audits, zoning compliance, review of near-miss reports, root cause analysis, multidisciplinary review of any safety incident, feedback loops to update SOPs and trainings. So these are, in short, the basic points about how we can go about creating a MR safe environment by educational initiatives. And that will, what I meant was a top-down approach. From the top level, we can create quality professionals, protocols, management schemes, everything. And this can be given out to the population of MR facility managers and MR facility technicians, everybody. And also on the other hand, to the public, general public, and other people who may be involved in handling patients in a MR facility. So thanks, AOSR, Dr. Raju Matthew, Dr. Chamaree, for having me here. And I hope I have given you a good overview of the points that we are hoping to discuss this evening.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Manoj K. That was Manoj K. is a consultant radiologist at KIMS Hospital, Trivandrum, and in Pioneer Metro Scans, Trivandrum. He has been with MR Safety, working with MR Safety for the last 25 to 30 years. And his perspective on increasing the educational initiatives has been well covered. He has brought in a lot of interesting perspectives, interesting points to increase the educational initiatives. And that is covered every stakeholder. A lot of stakeholders are, education for a lot of stakeholders are necessary to truly increase the MR safety standards in an institution, not only the administrators, the radiology department, the others, and including the general public and other staff, including the general public and even the bystanders. So there are a lot of stakeholders where we need to introduce the educational initiative. And one thing I liked about Manoj, in Manoj's presentation, he has brought in the technology acceleration to increase the awareness campaign, increase the educational initiatives and the modular approach towards by use of animations and all these things. And the virtual MR suite by giving case-based scenarios is a very novel idea that needs to be entertained and to be taken forward. So the first point in the call for action is to increase educational initiatives. Dr. Manoj has explored it in detail, and it is time for all the listeners to think, what am I going to do in my institution? How am I going to increase the educational initiatives for MR safety for different stakeholders? As I mentioned in the beginning, the call for action is an initiative to drive action. If it has to happen in your level. And as part of this initiative, I always welcome. If you have done an increasing educational initiative, whatever you have done at your institutional level, whatever your contribution, you can always write to us in AOSR and AsiaSafe, whatever initiatives you have taken in your institution level on this call for action. Point number 1, increasing educational initiatives for MR safety. Dr. Manoj will take up the questions at the end of the second talk. And now we will move on to the second talk in this series, the call for action. Point number 2, to elevate expertise, organize expertise and certification. That talk will be given by none other than the President of AOSR, Dr. Chamaree Chuapetcharasopon. Dr. Chamaree has graduated from Ramtibodi School of Medicine, Mahidol University, Bangkok, Thailand, with radiology residency in Ramtibodi Hospital. She had a fellowship in VIR, Vascular Interventional Radiology, and subsequently body imaging in MD Anderson Cancer Center, Houston, Texas, USA. She is a management graduate. She has got the Master's in Business Administration from School of Business and Technology, Webster University, USA, and has held numerous positions in management, including Medical Director, Bumrungrad International and Head of Operation Planning and CP Medical Center, and is a past president and now advisory board member of the Thai Medical Women's Association, past president of the Thai Medical Informatics Association, and is a very impressive CV. And truly, she is a multitasker, and as a president of AOSR, she is leading AOSR in a wonderful way. With that introduction, may I invite Dr. Chamaree to give the talk on the second call for action point. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dr. Matthew. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Matthew, Dr. Manoj, Dr. Ung, and member of AsiaSafe subcommittee, and also with Dr. team who work very hard and make this series come true. Okay. Welcome, everyone. Our next session will be about the second point of call for action, which is elevate expertise. You all can find the content from the article published in Japan Journal of Radiology in January 2025, I mean early this year. And today I will take the second point on the articles, which we will discuss a bit more on elevating expertise in MRI safety by elaborate on organizing continuous education, training, and certificate. which can improve MRI safety. Dr. Manoj already started the initiative. We already have our expertise in place, and we cannot stop there. I think we should go and roll on by elevating expertise. Our healthcare professionals always have our lifelong education, which means we should organize continuous education. In this presentation, we will explore a bit on the importance of continuous education, training, and certificate in enhancing MRI safety. Why we need to elevate expertise? We all know that MRI environments are complex and high risk. Safety depends on well-informed, competent personnel. Dr. Manoj has started with initiative that will develop a very good and competent personnel, but we cannot stop there. Continuous learning ensures adaptation for the evolving technologies and protocol. What requirements for continuing education? It includes all of these, but not limited to, include accessible educational resource, structured training program, online modular education, certificate standard, sustainability in training, and dissemination of updates. I will go a bit more in details on each individual one. For the accessible of the education essential resource, providing free downloadable materials such as manuals, protocol guidelines, and algorithm is essential for the orientation and ongoing guidance of administrator and staff. Dr. Manoj has touched a very well-defined on the show the manuals, the protocol, but it shouldn't limited to only our institution. We should spread our knowledge and, if possible, give it as a free material to enhance or elevate the expertise for others as well. This is an example of the one of the free download MRI safety manuals. Dr. Manoj has mentioned this. This is a guideline from American College of Radiology. They update it quite frequent, and this one I have give you the link. It's a manual on MR safety in 2024. After we give the access free download accessible of the resource, then the training is should going on. Dr. Manoj mentioned on many training starting from medical student all the way up to our residency and even the doctors who already finished their training. But we cannot do it just a sporadic time once every year or one time and then forget it. So for the training, it is better to make sure that it is structured. Regular workshops and sessions focus on MRI safety issue. Advanced training for MRI personnel and job-specific training for non-MRI staff are also crucial. Or we can do annual or semi-annual retraining, which is also essential as well. Other than on-site training, online modular education is also this new world of internet and clouds and everything is very important. Develop online training modules that can access sequentially or in full is very important for both primary and continuing education. These modules should be hosted on a dedicated online portal. Example of online modular education. This is the one that from UK. It's kind of free for the staff on one organization, but this is very, very big. So deliver in partner with the Institute of Physics and Engineering in Medicine, Health Education England, and e-learning for healthcare. They divided into 5 courses and linked to many MR safety program and also multiple level or multiple type of staff or person, just like in non-MR environment, in MR environment, or the supervisor level. So each individual online modular education, it help to promote the continuous education. This is also the website on that particular one that I have mentioned. Also from National Health of England, they also have the program that free to take. And this is from International Society for Magnetic Resonance in Medicine. Dr. Manoj already mentioned a part of it, but they also have a very wide range resource on MR safety. They have MR safety the week, they have education resource protocol, and also all that you can download for free and have some courses you can take as well. After we do the continuous education, something that we may need to consider is to certify that this person already passed, or at least to inform others that he or she is the one that has defined roles and responsibility. This is certification standard. The alignment for the consensus recommendation is key for the expertise in MRI. This is the example of one of the certification. International Society of Radiographer and Radiological Technologists and the International Accreditation Board for Special Radiological Technologists has come up with specific course. This one has been in Thailand last year, and I have a few of my MR technologists join the course, which is 5 days training course and examination for MR technologists, because it's not that frequent that our technologists in middle to lower income countries will come up with the certification. This one, the hospital support, they went there to get the training and pass the examination in English, which is quite difficult for the local Thai. And this one will be kind of expired in 5 years. So we know that they will go for further training and maybe get another certification. We talk about online learning, we talk about the protocol and everything. Something that nowadays we cannot live without it is sustainability. I think it's part of our life, and we should include that in the training. Just like reducing greenhouse gas emission, promoting efficient scanning protocol. There's a big group that working on this kind of sustainability in radiology. Many of you may have seen the questionnaires that AOSR led by Dr. Evelyn Ho, our past president, sending to society and also institute for the questionnaire asking about sustainability and green radiology, which will the analysis of the response will come up soon in the next few months during the sustainability webinar. I think it's coming. Right? So but then it kind of interest to me that how sustainability related to safety. We can see that energy efficiency also reduce the risk of power shortage. Sorry. And preventing environmental contamination.
You have to unmute. You have to unmute.
And preventing environmental contamination from contrast media also potential risk, decreased risk to public health as well. If you go to the latest ISNA news in April 2025, they have articles mentioned on energy consumption about the MRI, which is very interesting. If you all would like to learn more about the greenhouse gas, this one will help you start. And dissemination of updates. We all know that a new knowledge always come up. So sharing important MRI safety updates through newsletter, portal, and workshops keeps all stakeholders informed of evolving risks and also best practice. We know that the continuous education enhance competency and confidence, reduce MR-related incidents, and promotes a culture of safety and accountability. Challenge is still there. In certain area, especially in our region, limited access in remote areas, lack of standardized certification or even training. But few solutions are there. We can start with digital library and the portal. Regional training hubs, maybe India is the one, because you have so large and also a lot of expertise. And we can do it through partnership as well. In conclusion, continuous education is not optional, it is essential. Institutions must invest in training infrastructure. Let us build a safer MR environment through expertise. Thank to AsiaSafe team. Put patient first, be AsiaSafe, and please take a visit to our AsiaSafe website. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Chamaree, the President of Asian Oceanian Society of Radiology, who talked to us on the call for action point number 2, elevate expertise and continuous education and for training and certification. This is very, very important. So, as you all know, the challenges for MR safety in a diverse area like Asia Oceania, with MR installations spread across different countries, different levels of healthcare, we need to improve the educational resources and also to elevate the expertise and certification programs, which are honestly not existent right now, the certification programs. So how to go about it, and Dr. Manoj and Dr. Chamaree has given us a roadmap to deal with. They have explored this call for action point number 1 and 2 in a nice way. They have brought in a lot of points that can be put into action, that can be integrated in exploring this possibility, this campaign of MR safety. Dr. Manoj, there is a question for you, that what is the role of Dr. from Syed Sadat, what is the role of artificial intelligence in MR safety?
Yeah, thanks, Prithvi. That's a very interesting and very valid question. In fact, artificial intelligence is going to help us really well in creating a MR safe environment. That's what I believe. In fact, I have put a slide about chatbots and on about applications. We ourselves have created an application for MR screening. These will come in very handy for the facilities. Screening itself, as you know, screening can be very well enabled using AI-enabled chatbots and enabled intelligence, AI-enabled applications. It will be a very quick work rather than scrambling for the information, or how when a particular patient has got some particular implant. People are really scrambling for the information, what it is, how to deal with it. So we will see that AI will come in such a big way to help us creating a safe environment.
Thank you, Dr. Manoj. See, the training, the screening programs, I think the artificial intelligence can play a very big role, especially the app-based and the screening protocols, evaluation, etc.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
I also think that the AI, other than In addition to the screening, it also link the information from electronic medical record, right? Because right now the patients they always have a lot of procedures in the past, or has history of many things, or sometimes it from other hospital. If we
Yeah.
can link all the patient's information added to the screening that Dr. Manoj has mentioned, that will enhance all the safety of the patients to coming in, and also remind our staff what to ask and what to be careful. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's a brilliant idea, President. And that has to be integrated into the electronic records also. And so, very, very interesting question. Another question, both of you can answer. How can we effectively integrate MR safety training into existing radiology and medical education curricula?
So
Uh,
it is, yes, very interesting. AOSR has our education committee, and the last 2 years they have been working in try to have a recommendation on residency training curriculum, right? Because our Asia Oceania has a so very large coverage, as you say, that over 40 something of population of the world, right? So a certain country has only 2 years training for radiology, and then certain countries have 4 or 5 years for training in radiology. So how are we going to standardize that part? What is the minimum that our residency training should have? This has been working on, but I think it will evolve, because right now we can see the new generation. A lot of them, I ask, where do you learn this from? They say, oh, I learned it from YouTube. Right, so they didn't even attend any of the real on-site curriculum in certain expertise. So innovation of a new kind of training is needed. It's very difficult for me because I'm actually a senior generation. So we need to get the feedback from the new generation, how they would like to learn. But our webinar may initiate the idea of, oh, the safety is there, but how I, as a junior, can have this into my DNA. We try to put that into their DNA, right? But it might be not the way they want. So I think we should get the feedback from the one that we want them to be, and ask them, if I would like you to be, will you interested, or how you think you're going to be, and integrate that into our generation thought. That might be the key.
right.
Thank you.
So the toolkit and the language of the Gen Next is entirely different. So we need to, nurture the talents and their contributions. Manoj, how do you want to approach this challenge of integrating into the medical curriculum for radiologists and the students?
Yeah, actually, this is one of the most important aspect that we have to look into. I mean, every medical professional in 21st century, as we know, MR is our cutting-edge weapon for diagnosing almost, entire spectrum of disease conditions. And everybody in a medical field, in the modern medical field, should know what MR is doing, why MR safety is important, and how to do it. So I think that comes as an essential part of education. I mean, when a medical officer or anybody who has passed medical education should have that basic knowledge of what MR safety means. That we can imply. I mean, give to these students at many levels. In fact, starting from from their clinical introduction. Like in third year, they go to the clinics. They can have some idea about this MR by actually giving them at least 1 day posting in radiology department, including the MR. That will help a lot in them just giving a glimpse about what is happening. And also all these other students, like nursing students, they can also have an introduction. I mean, if not going to the actual facilities, they can have a virtual introduction. Like I said, we can create some virtual environment to show them what it is to be an MR environment, why it is important to understand MR safety. Such things we can create and disseminate. That I think by a collective effort, our association, our MR safety organization can bring in such wonderful tools for all the people who are going to get trained in the coming years.
Thank you, Dr. Manoj. I would request the attendees to put their questions and register there. And we have also, Dr. Evelyn Ho has put almost all very important AOSR MR safety videos. Or the link has already been shared that can be downloaded. And please ask more questions. Actually, most of the questions are now on, Dr. Suhail has asked about, again, on AA. AA is everyone wants to know how AA can be integrated both for educational activities and for the application side. But one point that I want to, as far as medical students and radiology students are concerned, I think unless we include MR safety in their examination, nobody is going to pay more attention to that. So that is, so the seniors can think about, the professors can think about including MR safety, questions related to MR safety or case-based scenarios. How will you deal with that? And maybe some real life experiences where they have been like virtual and real life experiences where they can interact with the patient and the technologists and the radiologists for the MR safety protocols that they've been following in each and every institution. I'm happy to have our chair of AsiaSafe, Emeritus Professor Dr. Kwan Hung Ng here. Dr. Ng, do you have any questions or do you have any comments on this session so far?
Hi. First, thanks to Dr. Chamaree, our president, and Dr. Manoj for that interesting discussion on education, on forming our expertise, and also questions on AI. Well, that is a hot topic throughout in any discipline, in medicine or in scientific disciplines as well. But I hope that we can start to develop some modules at least, whatever form, virtual or modeling to simulate the safety situation. How do you encounter that? And that will be good. Hopefully the AOSR would invest in that with AsiaSafe collaborating with the education, training, and other relevant committees. And also, we should also prioritize, because we are very limited in resources. We can prioritize some aspect of it, and then we work on that, and it'll be excellent.
Thank you, Professor Ng. I have a question here. So the Asia Oceania is a diverse region where language is a problem. So how can language or translation, now this Google translations on the translations, how can we integrate these translations into our the MR safety resources for educational initiatives? For example, English, those countries who are not English speaking, or those countries where the technologists and the general public need to be educated in their local languages. So how should we go about it? Opinion from both the speakers. Dr. Manoj K, first to you.
Yes, actually, this is very interesting, and in fact, something that we experience. I'm working in a corporate hospital where every other patient comes from another country. That is something that is experience. I think many people will have such experience, especially in that MR environment. We get people from across the, Asia Oceania region itself. We will get one patient from Sri Lanka, one patient from Maldives, one patient from, Bangladesh, like that. And that language barriers are really critical to ensure a safe MR environment. So I think on area we can concentrate is on technology itself. As we know, technology has now come to translate. Real-time translation is even available. And moreover, the role of translators, I mean, our hospital itself actually employs so many translators, like Arab translators, Maldivian translators, like many people we are employing just to understand the concerns of patients. And technology can enable us in a big way in overcoming such handicaps in like a resource limited setting. We can have the applications and that kind of things which will immediately translate the patient's concern into the language that is understood by the doctors and the technology. So that language barrier is a real hazard, a real problem, and that, of course, I think, but we have to actually look into the real life scenarios and come up with the solutions, like how to make a patient ask for something. There can be some standard dictionary like things, or some sort of online resource that is available for the standard protocols, procedures, where I mean, we can ask, I mean, like in a screening procedure, no? You have to ask the patient some questions. So how to ask in a different language or how to understand from a different language, this can be compiled and put up for our website, in the AsiaSafe website and all. So these safety jargon, safety instructions, all these things, which can cross that language barrier. That is what I think. We can incorporate so many ideas and so many resources into these MR facilities. They can just look up into our websites or in our resources and say, okay, this is what it means in their language. This is what it means, and the officials or the technologists there can immediately take action on that.
Yeah, Dr. Chamaree, your take on it?
Yes, I agree with Dr. Manoj that language is quite a challenge, right? But luckily, I think technologies has come to the point that we get a lot of help from them. Just like for the young generation, when they travel the world right now, they don't scare of nothing about the knowledge, right? They use their mobile phone all the time. They use the technology to help translate. I think that will happen in medicine not far from now, because right now even the articles or the paper from other countries that has a different language, right? We use AI to help to translate. I use all the AI to help quite a bit in terms of all this for the documentation. And for the real life, I have seen many technology. For example, the earphone that they can translate in multi-language. Even it's not the healthcare itself, but I think it's come because the language, the national language, will be more and more in the modules of the AI, and that will become our kind of a regular practice to use technology to help in daily life. I think we worried now, but it will not that far that this will be that will be the solution by technology.
Right. So once again,
Can I comment on this?
Yeah, please, sir, please.
Yeah, we have the technology to handle these tasks. May not be perfect. The easiest way, one way to do is the dubbing. For example, we will produce this session in the YouTube. Well, it'll be in English, but we can dub it, the text. We can have it in other languages, like in Thai, in Hindi or others, right? We can have the subtitle, the dub. The other one, it is a bit more advanced, where the IAEA have used it pretty successfully. So let's say you and I were speaking English, but they would translate that or interpret that into a language of choice. So we can also have a separate video, different language. So but then well, we need the resource. We can experiment this with some resource from the AOSR, we can do that and it'll be good.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Thank you, Professor Hang. And we got another very interesting question. I would also like to request all the attendees who are still here to post your questions on these two particular call for actions, and your ideas also can be shared with us. And one question to Dr. Chamaree on elevating the expertise and training. This is from Dr. Said Sadat from United Arab Emirates. He's asking, what is the recommended MR training periodically? Is it annually, half yearly, or quarterly?
I thank you for the questions. To my knowledge, I don't think there's a real must that how long you need to train for the MR. It also depends because of example for my countries, if you're going to do the training after your residency training in general diagnostic radiology, and you want to have a certificate or advanced body imaging, which means CT and MR, you need a 2 years training before you can take examination for the support. But there's a certain curriculum that also give you the chance for 1 year, to become the expertise according to the law and regulation in Thailand. So each countries, I think they have their own regulation that, when you will become the one who legally experts. Okay, this is for the legal as your professional, but for continue education, I think it's depend on your interest, because if you would like to study the continuous on, is there any new some kind of processes that we need to be careful. It will take days, right? So, but if you need to study more on the entire course of the MR safety, it may need a week. But then if you want to be an expertise in musculoskeletal MR, then you need another kind of period. So it depends on your needs. But also it go back to what Dr. Manoj have been trying to do, is that, we need to have the initiative on what should be the standard. And that's come up with our AOSR team of the education, that we will have kind of suggestion or recommendation to answer the questions just like you have been asked.
Thank you. One interesting question, what metrics or outcomes can be used to assess the effectiveness of MR safety educational initiatives? So suppose we conduct a training program, and is it the cutoff is 75%, or what is the metrics that you are, how will you give this pass certificate or training certification? How should we go about it? From the National Society perspective or from the AOSR perspective, how should we go about it? Dr. Manoj or Dr. Chamaree, whoever can, any one of you can take the question.
Okay, Dr. Manoj, do you want this one, or I can start? Okay, this is the a difficult questions for each individual countries, and also for the general answer as well. As I have said, that to measure the outcome of education, this actually is the outcome of education, right? It depends on in which dimension you have looked into, right? Because a certain outcome of education is only you can pass certain criteria of the examination. That's it. But the end point, actually, it's the outcome of a daily practice. So that's why right now many institutes, when they have the graduate student, and the graduate student going out to work in a real life, after a year, they will send the questionnaires and ask the end user how to graduate. I think that should be combined between endpoint examination, this is as Dr. Matthew said, that we put it in the examination of our residents, so the answer, right? But then you need to be able to practice in real life. So the audit during your work will be the answer of the outcome of MR safety education. The incident of MR incident should be zero in the
Yeah.
world. I think that's the end point of
Right.
our MR safety. Okay.
So we should have a zero tolerance policy towards projectile accidents, thermal burns, some of the major contributors of MR accidents. We should develop a zero tolerance policy and should devise plans and educational programs and certification programs accordingly. And I'm sure the AOSR participant countries will start that certification process, and under the leadership of their MR Safety Board and AOSR will take the lead. And before, I think it's already been quite a bit time here, and it is time to wind up the session. I would request Professor Ang for a closing remarks. Anything to be added here?
Thank you, the fellow colleagues, those who are attending this second part in a series. We have learned a lot, haven't we, right, from this second in the series on the promoting the education and also enhancing the expertise in that. And we have gained from the wisdom and experience of Dr. Manoj and Dr. Chamaree as well. As you can see, as Dr. Rijung has pointed out, we really need to collaborate, to work together as AOSR to promote this MRI safety, which is so important. And we have so many incidences. Some have gone unreported, unconfirmed, but there are lots of them, some minor, some serious. We need to take it very seriously. And we should aim, as Dr. Rijo mentioned, zero tolerance. We should no accident as long as those caused by human. Of course, there are some is beyond us, the technical reason or what, but if it's human errors related, we aim for zero tolerance, and that should be a goal. And the AsiaSafe will continue to push forward. So education and awareness, and we have many more webinars in this series to continue to elaborate all these 10 points call of action as we have published that paper, and we will help various national organization to achieve that. And thank you for all of you. Yeah. And thank you also for Dr. Rijo for moderating this interesting session.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. And as I already mentioned in the introduction part, what we're looking from call for action is to drive action at the individual level, radiologist, technologists, and institution level. In your institution, how can you contribute towards each call for action and make more people responsible? And that is our kind of outcomes that we are looking for. And each and every, for the national societies to integrate MR safety in their conferences, CMEs, and also to start the certification and training programs, so that a responsible person at the MR site, both as an MR medical director and MR SO, is very much integral part of MR safety, because they are the leaders at the local level to lead the whole thing, and they are their eyes and they are actually the watchmen of who safeguard the whole MR safety process. I would also like to thank the chair of AsiaSafe, Emeritus Professor Kwan Hung Ang, for the opening remarks and leading the MR safety campaign. As part of AsiaSafe is dealing with radiation safety and MR safety, and he's doing it in an exemplary manner and has been guiding us to do more and more webinars, more and more action programs. And thank you, sir, for your leadership on this particular front. And our president of AOSR, Dr. Chamaree, she has been pushing us for more and more actions, more and more webinars, more and more activities related to MR safety. I'm sure during her presidency, we will see more and more national societies taking up the MR safety call for action, implementing it in their countries, and taking all the 10 points and implementing in a great way. I would also like to thank her for her wonderful lecture on elevating the expertise, training, continuous organizing continuous training and certification. Thank you very much, ma'am. Dr. Manoj K is a good friend of mine from India and has been passionate on this MR safety. He regularly sends me updates, regularly sends me e-articles, and he is very innovative with apps and with several chatbots and all these things. He has got a lot of innovative ideas, and I'm sure Dr. Manoj K will contribute much further for the promotion of educational activities and to every call for action point in MR safety. So before we wind up, I would request the Vidoctor team to show the feedback form, the QR code, which every participant is requested to download and send it back to us with your suggestions. And that is very much essential for you to get the certification for this program. And as in the last year, the Malaysian Society had given the credit points. So we are also looking for this series to be accredited, to having credit hours from various national societies. So please do send. Your feedback is required for the receipt of the certification of participation attendance, and this will be sent in about 2 weeks. So everyone, please fill the feedback form, scan the QR code, or click on the link in the chat in your viewing platform. We're giving a few more seconds for you to scan it. And I'm sure all of you will send your feedbacks, how to improve this webinar series, how you can even share your suggestions, how you do it in your place. Because as Dr. Ng has mentioned, we want more and more ownership from different countries on the MR safety. We want more and more stakeholders coming in and say that I am proactively taking forward this campaign in my institution, my country, and I am leading it. We are looking for MR safety ambassadors at every point, every country, every region. So, Shweta, can you show the next flyer on the next webinar that is on? Yeah, this is our next webinar from AsiaSafe, Enhancing Optimization Strategies in Radiological Practice webinar series that starts in 2025. Last year, we had a diagnostic reference level. Now this is diagnostic reference level DRLs revisited, and Associate Professor Samuel Brady is the speaker, and it will be the president of AOSR will grace the occasion, and the welcome address will be given by Emeritus Professor N. Kwang Hung, the chair of AsiaSafe, and also will be moderated by one of the AsiaSafers, the Associate Professor Nukarin Supakal. Before I wind up, I would also like to thank all attendees for sharing your questions, for attending this session. And I'm looking forward to your contribution, much more proactive in leading this campaign in your region. And thank you, Vidoctor team, for the wonderful support, for technology support. And I would also like to put on record the thanks to the AOSR and AsiaSafe leadership for giving us this opportunity to conduct this webinar. So it is time to sign off. And we will see again the AsiaSafe webinar series. As I said, AsiaSafe has got 2 streams, radiation safety and MR safety. And probably we are the only association, only committee that is looking into both the streams. Whereas, so under the leadership of Emeritus Professor Kwan Hung. So thank you very much for joining, and looking forward to you on the next webinar on June 7. Signing off. Thank you all, and good day, good evening, or good day, or good night, and whichever part you are.
Oh, good night.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Have a
thank you.
good day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Shweta, you can, recording can be stopped. I request all the participants to stay, all the speakers to stay. The recording, is it stopped, Shweta? Thank you.
Okay.